So let me get this straight. Tamra dogged Shannon the whole season, right? Called her a drunk multiple times, supported the ops, which was Alexis and John, shaded her finances, talking about how she lives above her means and can't afford stuff, and all those things and beyond, yelling at her, making disparaging remarks like, well, I'm not the one who drove my car into someone's house, was I? All those things, but now we're supposed to sit up here and accept her trying to rewrite history in this part 3. I ain't doing it. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't doing it. Okay, let me watch my words. It's a no in all capital letters, exclamation mark for me. Absolutely not. But y'all already know we're going to get into that, right? We're going to get into that, y'all. Because y'all already know the certain parts of the reunion had my blood boiling. I'm like, what are we doing here? Is this real? Is this really happening in this moment? But anyways, y'all, what is going on? It's your girl, Taina B here. Welcome to my chat party. I'm so glad that you guys could join me. When I tell you, I looked at the guest list on yesterday, and the guest list still continues to keep guest listing because I was at 304. I was like, well, let's go then. I mean, I'll take it. I love it. I appreciate y'all so much. So every single one of you who have subscribed, my VIP people, to my party, you know I am socially hugging you like so hard, but in a gentle way. Like, I give good hugs. At least I like to think that I do, because I appreciate y'all so much. And for those of you who just even stopped by the party for a little bit, a lot of it, fashionably early, fashionably late, hit the like button, shared the video, got on the dance floor and did your thing with those comments. Like, I am so grateful to you guys and appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, as well as I mentioned, just you leaving an encouraging note that helps me, or giving me something to smile about that helps me, or causing my jaw drop, with new teeth. That helps me too, because it's giving me knowledge of the things that I didn't know. Like, I am so grateful to you guys. So for all of you who have been doing it, I hope you'll keep rocking with me, since we're at, our final with this here. But those of you who will think about rocking with me in the future, I thank you in advance. Okay, y'all? So let's go ahead and do this. Okay? And we're not even going to talk about the fact that I had recorded a whole video prior to this and learned that there was no volume. But I definitely had to do it again. I was like, y'all are worth every ounce of me doing it again. I got things to do and it's pushing me back, but here I am because y'all support me, so I'm going to come with the video, okay? All right. So production shows 36 hours later, quick clip of that. And we hear some information about 7 months worth of something coming out, and Gina's finally glad that it came out. But before we get into that later on, they bring us back to the reunion where Shannon and Alexis are steady going back and forth like they were. And Alexis is talking about how she's been on TV for 15 years. And I'm like, girl, where? What shows were those? You've been on 15 or for 15, like how? Okay, so after the Housewives, what else was there? And I'm not saying that she hasn't, y'all. I'm just saying I ain't never seen it. Okay, so let me know. To which Shannon, I was here for this, says, Heather, let's pull up her IMDb. And I'm like, right, because what else is going to be on there? It makes me think maybe like those little random sidebar shows where sometimes you might have seen someone from a show and then you don't see them for a while and then they randomly appear on like these little side shows. And you're like, oh, I remember that person. They used to be on such and such and such. Maybe she's done those, I guess. Anyways, so from here, I'm like, why are we talking about John and all this past relationship stuff? Now, I know the premise to the situation was the fact that he really wasn't such a great guy, because just as Alexis is doing current day, Shannon used to defend his bad behavior, and we get some throwback footage confirming that. And Alexis is calling Shannon bitter, right? She's calling her bitter. Now, Gina makes a great point later on, which we'll get to. But in this moment, I'm like, yeah, she's bitter, all right, but not in the way that you're thinking. Like, this jerk has sued her and has been riding her shoulders along with you and your kooky self hopping on top of her shoulders. And it's exhausting. Then on top of that, like, again, now you're taking me even through a Well, I just said he sued her, but you're still taking me through a legal process. Like, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of resources. Like, that's a whole just kind of production within itself. So, girl, yeah, I'm bitter, and I'm bitter as hell. How about that? And so, whatever. I just feel like, too, at the end of the day, with Alexis' way of thinking, just because someone's bitter doesn't mean that they still want that person. And I have every reason to believe at this point in time that Shannon is not interested in John anymore. Again, I could be wrong, but just my thoughts. And so Shannon is also, because let's put that point too, spent thousands of dollars on this man. And it's like, and now you're coming to me with your hand out. Like, I've already paid my dues to you. But Shannon says to Alexis, all I said negative about him was that I paid for everything, which is true. What else have I said? Pan over to the camera, looking at Alexis sitting there stuck AF, not having a response. But then she conveniently wants to say, this isn't about me. And I said, oh, really? Oh, so now this ain't about you. Girl, that's the very point we've been trying to get you to understand since day one. That it ain't about you at all. You're absolutely right. But you made it about yourself this whole entire season. Okay? And to debunk her claim immediately after, she says her and John did forensic accounting, which shows Shannon did not pay for everything. So if this ain't about you, why was it that he didn't do the forensic accounting by himself? Why was it that we did it? Like, what did any of that have to do with you? And there's ways to support your man, Alexis, without being involved all up and through his affairs. Just know that. Furthermore, Shannon didn't pay for everything. If that's what they want to say, okay, all and well and good, but she still paid for about $75,000 worth of stuff. Okay, and that's not even inclusive of everything, I'm sure, because then you have your little knick-knack stuff, dinners, or maybe he needed deodorant one day, or maybe he was running short on cologne. Like, we ain't counting all that stuff, right? So I'm like, Alexis, just go on and disappear, okay? Bye, girl. You're still missing the point and the moral of the story. And she says she has the numbers, to show. And Gina's like, but why? To which Shannon adds, it's not your business. And I'm like, thank you, ladies. I concur on both points. And they go back and forth. And I'm loving some of the just kind of little extra, just kind of sidebar things that are thrown in there. Because I think, for instance, Shannon made reference to Heather's confessional during the season of saying that Shannon got John's Ferragamos on sale. And I can't remember the range. I think the cap off was like $475. And Shannon was like, no, girl, them things were full price. They were $800. Okay, I did not get them on sale. Or the fact of Alexis bringing up how John had gifted Shannon with the $10,000 necklace. And Shannon was like, that necklace was not $10,000. Okay, let's not get it twisted. She was like, it was a necklace, okay, at that. So I was like, let's go, girl. And so a viewer question comes in, to which Heather confirms that John just wants to be in the spotlight, and does, but we already knew that, right? No surprise. Then I said, not John in his confessional talking about he was single for a year before he met Alexis, yet Shannon shows a text 2 months prior where he's still reaching out saying that he loves Shannon. Okay, so John, you very much may have been single at that point in time, but the fact and the point of it all is that Shannon was still on your membrane hard. Okay, and did y'all catch even at the beginning of that text how John was apologizing for upsetting Shannon about something? And I said, oh, not you. Not Johnny Boy, the Good Samaritan. Apologizing for what? You did something? Huh? You upset her? There's acknowledgement of that. Your words, not hers. Oh, okay. Not you. And even then I'm thinking, if Alexis would have known about that text, she probably would have come up with some excuse, or with an excuse on John's behalf as to why he was apologizing. So I'm like, just a freaking mess. So there's a lot of chattering happening at this point, and really other points in the reunion, y'all. I couldn't keep up with everything. I was like, all right, it's too much going on for me. Some things I caught, some things I certainly didn't. But at this particular point, the ladies are just talking about when Shannon was or wasn't with John and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, ladies, again, who cares? He's super old news and a thing of the past. So Alexis has the audacity to call, I believe it was Gina, but I certainly know that she had looped Emily into that Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I was like, girl, first of all, that's another line you probably rehearsed in the car on your way there. Absolutely fell flat. So just old of a comment and just dry and stale. And I'm like, and that's real rich. I mean, beyond rich. Coming from an airhead like you who has nothing but space and opportunity between her ears. You could never part your lips to say anything of the sort to anybody. So naturally from there, Emily goes off on her and lets her have it, pretty much letting her know how much of an idiot she is and how she's one of the dumbest people she's ever met. And there were a lot of sidebar conversations, like I said, happening at this point. Alexis kept getting upset that Shannon wouldn't let her speak. And I loved how at one point Shannon was like, Alexis, flippin' zip it. And it made me think of that moment. I don't know if it was Austin Powers. It's been so long. But was it him who was like, zip it? You've got to zip it. Zip it. Do me a favor, zip it. Like, I think, wasn't that him that kind of built off of that whole zipping thing? So anyways, through all this, you guys, I will say that I already knew that Alexis was in trouble with being in a relationship with this man, John. But once she said that he had seen her bank account, I was like, wait, hold up. What? You said what? Huh? She never really gives us intelligence anyway, y'all. So I don't know what would make this moment any different, but I needed her to do better than what she did. So you mean to tell me you shown your hand to this man who you barely know? And I get the whole thing of, oh, they're about to be married and they're engaged. Now, I don't care. She does not know that man. Okay, she does not know that man. And you might hear people to the contrary of that even say, listen, you could know a man and he still don't need to be up in your finances like that. You know, like the fact is y'all aren't married though. Okay, let's start there. And furthermore, I don't know if y'all been raised the way that I was raised, but as my mom used to always put it, listen, it'd be cute to put your little monies together with your husband and this, that, and the third and have joint accounts, but there still needs to be one that he knows nothing about. Or we like to always call it the money saved and tucked away for a rainy day that only you, yourself, and you know about. Or if you believe in God, that only you, yourself, and God know about. Like, why are you showing this man what you're working with? And I kind of want to help her out and be like, you know what? Well, maybe she has other accounts that he's unaware of. Maybe that was just her showing him one account. But knowing Alexis, because she goes so hard and obviously just goes in, you know, face first, diving into things, she let this man know everything. And then some. It's probably worse the things that he does know. So I thought that that was a horrible move. That was not strategic at all. Not a good look. And I'm like, at the same time, I know she's probably thinking, oh, well, you know, I can show him that. Because it's the fact for me, too, that Alexis, he's in a whole legal situation with his ex as it relates to money. And I know you're thinking it will never be you, but the problem is it's probably you who's going to be next. But okay, girl, keep showing him everything. And so keeping it totally real, and this is to my point from earlier, I appreciated when Gina was trying to get Alexis to understand, I guess as it relates to the bitterness with Shannon, that, you know, she had been with John for a while. Now he's with someone new. Not only that, she's having to deal with this lady being on the show. And then you got all the other stuff in between. Like they, you know, she cared about this man once upon a time ago. And she hasn't had a chance to really grieve the breakup. And so Alexis claims she hears what Gina is saying. And I'm like, yeah, sure you do. Who cares? And a text was shown from Shannon, apparently to John, that the money was in fact a loan. Okay, there you have it. So for those who were wondering and not wondering and, you know, what it shoulda, coulda, was it was a loan. Okay, she said it. At this point, I'm like, okay, well, who cares? Who cares? I still like Shannon. I guess if we want to look at the principle that it was an untruth that she gave us, she did. Do better next time, Shannon. Okay, that's not cool. That's the most that I can give. I think for me, though, the whole scenario of what is going down is outweighing the fact that Shannon was untruthful about it being alone because of how, again, Alexis and John handled the situation. Like, they totally ruined any room for, you know, approaching the situation in the light of, well, Shannon, you really, yeah, that was really, I don't care. I'm telling you, I don't care about her lying about it being alone. I'm going to just tell y'all that right now. Okay? No, she shouldn't have done it, but she did. And we're moving forward. So John in his confessional, though, was a nah for me still. Like I said, because if Shannon was so untruthful, he was too. Because why are you carrying or saying the relationship is so volatile, yet you were still in contact with her, hanging out with her after the fact? Like, I know they showed footage at one point, and Shannon was saying how he, was there with her for a Family Feud recording, and they spent days upon days upon days after that. Or again, the fact of him sending the text to her that he loved her and all those things. Like, so why were you still up in this lady's face? Make that make sense, John. And I just felt like he was putting on in that confessional. It was so theatrical. Again, he tries to give us this energy and this emotion like he's just such the victim and he's just been done so wrong. And it's like, no. Like, be on with all of that. Like, yeah, I'm not sold on that at all. And these next scene, again, guys, were exhausting because I just feel like Alexis was on the stage way too long. Like, she should have been done at the end of part 2 of the reunion. And I feel like the main moral of the story, like a couple of the ladies said, why now, John? Why, when the cameras start rolling and filming begun, why now? Or filming begins, why now? Like, and so Shannon made the point that he never even asked her about the money when they first broke up. It wasn't until much later on that it became a thing. And so now naturally they have to get into the extortion video, and I'll just say yet again, I feel like John is a whole clown, and Alexis is making my head hurt throughout that. And Alexis is finally done. Thank God. Love Shannon's wave goodbye. Like, she should have done the other hand too, or she should have been like, bye, girl. See ya, friend of. And I'm like, please don't bring this lady back. Please, from the bottom of my soul, please do not bring this lady back. This did not work out for her. This was not a good look for her. To which Emily swoops in with a great point. I can't front. Loved it. Probably need to write it down. That every trash can needs a lid, and John Jansen found his. Touche. Here for it all. Powerful. Period. And I can appreciate how they got Jen together about befriending Alexis after how she handled Shannon, because we get to see little Instagram clips of Katie and Jen and Alexis being out. Katie, I really didn't care about. She wasn't that relevant to me in this because her and Shannon really aren't friends. She don't know Shannon like that, but Jen has been rocking with Shannon at this point. And even confirmed, in prior episodes that she was been more of a friend to her than even Tamra has been. So it's like, why are you over here all up in this lady's Kool-Aid in life, knowing how she's handling Shannon? And I'm a person like, I'm not the individual who says you shouldn't befriend other people because they don't get along. I've never been that person, not even when I was a teenager. I've never had that type of energy for folks. But my thing is, if I know you are deliberately and downright being dirty to someone that I do call friend and I care about, then you and I are going to have a problem. And even if we don't have a problem, I'm certainly not going to be rocking with you. We ain't going to be out taking pictures together. So I got what they were saying with that, and I didn't care for that as it relates to Jen either. Now, I will say that Emily's comparison, talking about she would choose Tamra over Alexis, I was like, well, that's a no. You got that totally screwed up. Okay, I wouldn't go that low to say that. But Jen did bring it back when Emily said, I would never be friends with a woman like that. And Jen said, but you are. She sits next to you, referencing Tamra. And I'm like, exactly that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we saying here? And Emily says, well, there's a difference. And I'm like, yeah, Emily, you're right. And the difference is Tamra's absolutely worse. Way worse. And so here's the part, y'all, that had me pausing my TV and really needing to take it a moment to breathe and to calm down and not rip my TV off the wall and all those things, because Andy then circled back around to Tamara and Shannon And pretty much Tamara having Shannon's back through the whole exchange with Alexis. And, oh, did you see? And she, she shook her head when you said that. And she said this when you said that in support of you. And did you see? And I'm like, are we really doing this, Andy, right now? Like, I know you can't be so for real. Did you not watch the season? Did you not see what transpired? Like, are you okay? Are you well? Like, what are you, like, what? But most importantly, what it was for me, because Kate, nobody convinced me but me. I don't care what will be going on around me, what Andy Cohen will be saying. I know what I know, and I know how I feel, and I know how I would have been treated. So no one can influence my thoughts. It was for me, Shannon, sitting up there with the tears and saying, I acknowledge that. And that's fine to acknowledge it, but she was doing it in a way where she's sitting there like, yeah, actually, Tamara does love me. She really does have my back. No, girl. No. What you should have gave was, yeah, I saw it. It's a little too late. You want me to thank her? Thank you for that. But I'm still done. What else are we talking about, Andy? Like, the fact of her getting up and hugging Tamra and then there with the exchange, I miss you and all of that. Oh, y'all, I was done. Any little glimpse of hope that I had for Shannon being done with Tamra, shutting the door behind her, sealing it officially and never looking back, completely went out the window. Okay? And I know that technically, could we say Shannon was probably going to be fully done with Tamra? No, because Shannon struggles with stuff like that, apparently. But I felt like she still had gotten to a point where she really was having enough. And apparently she hasn't had enough. She needs a little bit more, maybe a whole lot more. Maybe it'll never matter type more. And I said, you know what, Shannon, I hope Vicky gets you. I hope Vicky really does get you, because y'all remember when Vicky was saying at Jen's engagement party, like, she don't fool with people like Tamra. So how's that supposed to work with y'all as the tres amigas? I hope that's not a thing that's trying to come back. And I hope Vicky then stands her ground like, no, I didn't like how she treated you. Like, are you crazy? I'm good, because at the end of the day, whatever you choose to do with Tamra, that's your business. But it's the fact for me that me witnessing what she did to you, if she did it to you, she most certainly can do it to me. And I'm good off of that. No, thank you. So wasn't feeling Shannon. I'm like, Shannon, you did all that work just to throw it in the trash and take 20 million steps back. But okay, go off, girl, and keep trusting Tamara and her behavior. Y'all, at the end of the day, when people show you who they are, believe them. Shannon has seen from Tamara multiple times of who Tamara really is. And Shannon just refuses to accept that. She just refuses. Tamra is a disgusting human being, and I have nothing for her. So at the end of the day, while Shannon might not be done with Tamra, I certainly am. I know what my eyes saw this season and beyond, but we'll keep it to this season. I know what I saw. And you can't change my mind about it. Like, I'm good over that. And I see, again, the evil spirit that she is. No thank you. And you want to put that and charge that all to what you were going through or you didn't really understand, and you were eating. No. Jen made me feel a little better, with her sidebar comments when she saw Shannon and Tamara hugging by saying it was all BS and all this other stuff. And I said, well, yeah, I get it. But Jen, I'm still a little skeptical about you because you saying all that and you'll be the same one having Tamara up at your wedding. So we'll see how things go. I need a little bit more for you before I fall into your arms believing that you're for real. Okay, like I did with Shannon at this point. So I was completely wrong. And I will say I was here for Shannon's acknowledgement of, just not being proud of the things she's done, especially how she kind of looped Gina into all of that. But it stopped there for me. Because then when she started the whole, oh, I apologize to Tamara too. Like, what are you apologizing to Tamara for, Shannon? Apologizing for what? Like, what do you, like, what? Apologizing for defending yourself through her mean behavior against you? Emily makes mention of how strong Shannon was this season, and I agree. I definitely feel like she was. Tamara doesn't like how she looked this season, and I'm like, okay, what about every other season too, girl? Don't forget those. I don't care about anything she said after that. I loved how the NFL gifted them with customized jerseys, playing off of the earlier episodes when they were kind of doing their whole thing on the beach with football. That was super cute. I'm like, man, the perks that they get and the doors open by being on these platforms is so freaking dope to me. I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine just you know, being gifted with all these different things, like, or acknowledged. Like, who knew somebody from the NFL would do something like that? Like, that's so cool to me. I definitely agree that OC gave us a great season. I thoroughly enjoyed it from beginning to end. I'm looking forward to next season for sure. So the ladies end up wrapping up with a toast. And now we're 36 hours after the reunion with, of course, Emily running her mouth like she used to do or likes to do, and leading the charge about one of the ladies holding info for 7 months and dropping it after the reunion. So she's telling this to Gina at her house, from where Heather and Shannon end up arriving. And Heather begins to share how her and Terry and Tamra, Eddie, Alexis, John, I want to say also Shane and Emily went to dinner after Jen's engagement party. If I'm not mistaken, was Emily there too? I don't know. And Heather says that Shannon's accident comes up that night in conversation, but was trying to make it seem like she didn't know how it came up, you know, because they weren't talking about her like that or something. And Gina's on the side like, yeah, y'all were. I'm sure y'all were talking about her, and I'm sure they were too. And pretty much it comes out that John actually did hear the crash. And so Tamara now arrives, and they're getting her to chime in and just add some things or whatever. And Shannon apparently punched John that night, but she doesn't remember it because she was under the influence. And I don't know if y'all were unmoved like I was unmoved. I was sitting there really trying to find the F's to give, but I couldn't find not a near one. And I still can't. I'll give some morality to the situation and say that, you know, it's never okay to put your hands on somebody. How do you control that though when you're under the influence of something? To Gina's point button, however, that I thought was a wonderful point, whatever happened or, you know, transpired in that video, Shannon is just going to have to take responsibility for, whether she was inebriated or not, which we know that she was. But because it's the fact that but for you being drunk, all these other things wouldn't have happened. And you have to, whatever stems from that one act is what you have to deal with. And I think that Shannon is in a space, in a place to be able to take accountability for those things. And it's never again okay to put your hands on anybody. It really, really, truly is not. But that's all I had to give y'all. Like, I was just like, okay, all right. And even with that, like, I'm surprised that he wasn't running his mouth about that. Like, yeah, you know, she actually punched me. Like, I'm so surprised that he kept that under wraps if that was the case. But I don't know. I'd be like, okay, well, can I see the video? I would want to see it. I wouldn't believe nothing these people are saying, because if you think about it too, y'all, they don't want to release the video. They just kept threatening with the video. It kind of reminds me of even when Jersey, and I hope I don't make some of y'all mad, because again, Jersey's a heated franchise topic amongst the fans. But, you know, the one reunion where, what's his name? Oh, gosh. John Fuda had a manila envelope with all this information in it, apparently against Louis, but he ain't opened the envelope, not there once, but just kept threatening with it. Or the fact that Marge had a whole phone call recording of Louis disrespecting her son, but we never got to hear it, or they never let anybody else hear it. I'm just like, is this one of those, like a blanketed threat? Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all act like y'all have this video with all this craziness on it, and oh, she punched me in the face and did that, but did that really happen? Because where's the video? Then show the video. Okay, so anyways, y'all, they pretty much, you know, wrap it up with Shannon just expressing her gratitude to the ladies and feeling overwhelmingly loved and supported in that moment. And Tamra then kind of taps her leg and lets her know that, for lack of better words, she put her through all the stuff she put her through because she loves her so much. And it reminds me of a person who is in, I'll say this because I know I gotta choose my words wisely with these videos. I'll say it reminds me of an aggressor in a relationship that does horrible things to the person that they claim they love. So you're gonna put your hands on me and tell me you did that because you loved me. That's not how that works That's not how that works, y'all. So you put me through all this stuff, and I'm gonna leave that right there because I could go deeper into that, but I don't want to trigger or upset anyone at all at my party. That is not what this is about. But you mean to tell me that all those things you said to Shannon and all those things you did to her was because you loved her so? Like Emily said, that's a strange kind of love. And not only that, that's a toxic kind of love. And furthermore, who needs that kind of love? So while they closed out and pan off with Emily saying that, or Gina saying that Shannon needs to choose better men, well, guess what? Apparently, Shannon also needs to choose better friends. But if she wants to keep laying down and taking it from this lady, that's her business. Okay, so I will say moving forward, for whatever they give us for next season, because I'm sure that Tamra will be there, I'm not going in defense of Shannon. Like, I've wasted all my energy with it. I'm just not here for it. I am not here for it at all. And it's going to be the same routine of a situation. It's either going to be Tamara going off on her multiple times and then they rekindling, or it's going to be, Shannon acting like she wants to stand up to her and maybe stand up the whole season. But then by the time the reunion comes, they're in love again. I ain't got the time for that. So anyways, at this point, with that being said, y'all, the music is on and the dance floor is lit. Don't be no prude. Don't hold up that wall. Don't sit in your seat, bopping your shoulders when you could be on the floor, on the dance floor, two-stepping, twisting, spinning, giving me your thoughts, giving me your comments. What do y'all think about Shannon being untruthful with this whole loan situation? What do y'all think about her hauling off and socking John in the face? Or wherever she socked him. That's my fault. I'm over here making up stuff now. Let me reel that back. Just punching John. Okay. What do you guys feel about Shannon and Tamra making up during this reunion? Like, just like, I'm like, what was this? I just couldn't believe that was real, y'all. I couldn't believe it. Oh my God, like that bothered me so. But let me know your thoughts, please. I truly appreciate y'all. And listen, there's no way that I can stop here now that y'all are rocking with me and all the things. So I have decided that I'm actually going to slide right on into Beverly Hills, because I saw the first episode and I was like, oh yes, they're getting the party started. This is my kind of party. These are the things I like to see. And I want to have a reason to come back to you guys. I don't want it to be over yet. So again, stay tuned for that. I hope you guys watch Beverly Hills too. Like I do. I will be back with at least, I might just hop right into 2, or if not, give a little bit of 1 on into 2. Either way, or I will be back to do it with y'all all over again. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, have a most amazing Thanksgiving with your family, with your friends. If you do Friendsgiving, whatever it is. And remember that day, as it was told to me today, that calories don't count. So go ahead, eat your heart out. For those of y'all who are real fit people and in the gym all the time, take the day off. Okay, the gym will be there. All right, this is a time for fellowship and just eating real good. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope that you have a phenomenal day anyway. And y'all, if this video found you and you weren't in the best of spirits, I hope that you are now. I hope I was able to say or do something to put a little tiny smile on your face. And if I didn't make a good attempt at it this time, hopefully I'll get it right next time. But until then, y'all know what to do. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'm out. Peace.